Good morning, Freeman families, and welcome to Douglas Southall Freeman's Convocation for the class of 2021. This is the time in our ceremony when I would ask you to rise for our wonderful seniors.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now welcome the Freeman Festival Choir under the direction of Mr. Aaron Todd with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
You may now be seated. Please welcome to the podium our principal, Mr. John Marshall.
Welcome, students and family members of the class of 2021. My name is John Marshall, and I serve as the principal of Douglas Freeman High School. And in a few months, and they will go by faster than you can imagine, I will have the wonderful privilege of handing each of you your high school diploma. This will be a special moment for me personally, since I was your grade level administrator for your first 2 years of high school. In fact, I remember meeting many of you at freshman orientation way back in August of 2017, right in this room. I sat down to write this and didn't know what to say that hasn't already been said, or that I haven't already said in an Instagram video that runs too long for anybody's attention span. So given that I'm now a seasoned and experienced principal, all of 16 months, I did what any educator would do, and I pulled up last year's plans. Since we're in the middle of such a unique time, however, I did not expect to find anything I could use. Interestingly, what I found is very similar to the message I gave you all back at freshman orientation in 2017. Here is what I said from behind this same podium at Convocation last year. I said, the longer I'm around people, and I have the pleasure of interacting with about 2,000 every day, the more I'm sure that how we experience the world has less to do with our circumstances and more to do with our attitude, our lens on the world, and our reaction to those circumstances. Yes, I'm suggesting if you want to have a happy, successful, fun, rewarding, and positive senior year, the most important step is to decide to do so. Approach every event and experience with positivity and enthusiasm. Decide to lean into experiences that others are acting too cool for. Decide to be an inclusive person that brings others into your circle. Decide to be giving of your time, efforts, and energies to things greater than yourself. Decide to work hard. Decide to connect with your classmates in your school. Decide to resist negativity. I then pontificated some more about the subject before saying, it is our sincere hope that you approach this memorable year with great enthusiasm and positivity. That is a more difficult thing to say and for all of us to remember right now, but it doesn't make it less true. Fast forward 364 days, and I stand by those words for this group, even and maybe especially in the midst of this exhausting year. I still have a strong belief that most of life is what you make of your situation. I've met happy people in really difficult circumstances, grateful people living amidst tragedy, just as often as I've encountered despondent folks with great fortune or blessed people approaching the world with grievance. But this year, 2020, is such a test for that, and especially for this group, who are right at the age when you're deciding how you're going to approach the world. It's an amazing test, and it's one that I'm watching you all pass every day. From those classes I've popped into where you all are participating to the fullest, to those individuals I've talked to who've been quick to remind me of the silver linings, or the teenagers I've watched put us adults to shame when you all say things like, this is tough, but it's temporary, and we'll get through it stronger than we are now. You all are passing this test. Keep it up. So I was a history teacher for a while and still pretend to be one sometimes when Mrs. Stryker or Mr. Larkins let me, which allows me to know a bit about how unique and difficult circumstances have shaped generations of the past. So the teenagers of the Great Depression went on to win a world war and keep the world safe from Nazis and fascism. Teenagers who rationed and worried during that world war went on to build their country into a superpower. The teenagers who had to duck and cover in school for fear of a nuclear attack built the greatest economy the world has ever seen. And the teenagers like me who watched 9/11 and its aftermath in school, on TV, are currently leading the world through a technological and social revolutions at a pace never before seen. I have to imagine that part of these triumphs might be the result, or at least influenced, by the adversity they faced as young people. I wonder what your collective and individual triumphs will be on the other side of this adversity. Obviously, we wouldn't wish for this tragedy and wouldn't presume to put a silver lining on something so devastating, but we can look forward to what we will be when it's over and use that to frame the situation while we're in it right now as best we can. If you can develop and strengthen and hone that skill this year of making the best of your circumstances while in these circumstances, that will be an important characteristic to have as you step into the complex world. This moment is teaching us other critical skills that you'll need no matter what your future holds. And it's my hope that the development of these skills is among the small wins that comes out of this year for you. See, right now at Freeman, in this moment, you're learning how to learn new things, how to do things that are hard, how to productively use technology, how to advocate for yourself, how to stay motivated, amidst distraction and while distant from others. How to own your own learning. Those are skills that we believe in and we try and teach every graduating group. You're getting a master class in those lessons right now. So as we sit at Convocation, an event meant to kick off an exciting year, let's make the best of it together. Let's remind each other, and I need it sometimes too, of the words that I said to those that came before you and that I'm going to say to those that come after. That this year will be what you make of it. How we experience it is largely up to you. I know how we at Freeman are approaching this year, and I want to express 3 certainties to you that frame how the Freeman family will approach your senior year. 1, we know you only get one senior year, and we're going to work with you to make it special. It will certainly be unique, but we need your help with that. We need your help coming up with ways to make this as exciting a senior year as possible, and we are game for some fun ideas. Work with your leadership and with us to make this a special year for you. We know you only get one. 2, we know this is a tough time and that you're human, so we're going to work with you on just about everything. So reach out. We have a team of literally hundreds of people whose job is to support you in your growth. We're here to help you get through this and to prosper through this year. Thirdly, we know our mission to build world-class learners and leaders. Guys, the most important skill in this ever-changing world is that of being a world-class learner. It involves staying curious and constantly seeking new skills and knowledge. We're practicing that skill every day at DSF. We're also building leaders, people not afraid to be the driving force in their communities, their schools, their families, and their professions, leading from the front when necessary and always leading from where they are, leading by words, actions, and by example, servant leaders and transformational leaders. Leaders in the future, and for many of you, leaders right now. We believe we can change the world by building the individuals who will go on to lead it. We're going to work like crazy to fulfill that mission, no matter what we have to, no matter what barriers are in front of us, scratching and clawing to keep you learning, no matter what obstacle is in our way. We hope that you take the same approach this year. After all, this year, like so many things in life, is what you make it. Congratulations on making it to senior year. Happy Convocation, and always remember that you are never alone because you're always a part of the Freeman family. And now we'll hear some words from our superintendent, Dr. Amy Cashwell. Thank you.
Hello to the class of 2021. I'm Amy Cashwell, and I'm honored to speak to you today. I want to commend you on leading the way in safety and academics during this unusual year. While our classes are mostly virtual for now, we all look forward to gradually returning to our vibrant high school buildings. No matter which high school you attend, an architect designed it. Seniors, you each have your own construction project, the most important one you'll ever encounter. Each of you is the architect of your own future. I challenge you to cultivate qualities and experiences now that will impact the future for you and for others. As an architect, you design for the present with an awareness of the past for a future that is unknown. Our Henrico Learner Profile contains tools that can help you build for the future. I ask that you think critically, make decisions thoughtfully, seek out patterns and connections. Think creatively. Don't be afraid to learn by experimenting. In other words, your superintendent is telling you it's okay to make mistakes. Build a quality character. Inspire trust, practice integrity, and perseverance. Be a global citizen. You are part of a much larger world, and you glimpse it in your own classes. You might know that in our schools, over 100 languages are spoken and students represent more than 100 countries of origin. Demonstrate compassion and respect right now to help create the world you want. Communicate. Do not believe the idea that those who talk the most or are the loudest know best. Actively listen and then express your own understanding of the world. And finally, collaborate. No one builds a skyscraper on their own. It takes engineers, contractors, construction workers, and more. Work with others to reach common goals. We don't know what's to come, but we do know that what you design will inevitably change as your life unfolds. That may seem intimidating, but it's a good thing. You can do it. Ask, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? What does this world need? Use what you're learning about yourself to do what you can today. And so, architects of HCPS high schools, thank you for listening today. It's time to go back to the drawing board and see what you can design today.
Thank you, Dr. Cashwell. I'm Joseph Harrell, Vice President for the class of 2021. I'd like to introduce you to our other special guest for today's convocation, Assistant Principal and our Senior Administrator, Mrs. Beverley Steele. Our keynote speakers, Judge Linda Lambert Anderson, our former principal, Mr. Andrew May, and our school board member and former Freeman teacher, Mrs. Marcy Shea, senior class sponsor, Ms. Christie Cabell, and our senior class officers, President Jake Taylor, Secretary Anastasia Branch, Treasurer Amanda Gagan, Historian Ella Mortimer, and SEA Representative Noor Ahmad. Our speakers today all have a connection to Douglas Freeman High School, although, having been a part of this community for over 65 years, it's becoming more difficult to not have a Freeman connection. Our first keynote speaker today is Judge Linda Lambert Anderson. Judge Anderson is a proud DSS alum. After graduating from Freeman High School, she excelled at the University of Virginia, after which she returned to Richmond to attend law school at the University of Richmond School of Law. Judge Anderson has been a licensed practicing attorney in Richmond for the last 25 years, specializing mainly in child custody law. Judge Anderson was appointed to the Henrico Juvenile and Domestic Relation District Court, where she serves as a presiding judge. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Judge Linda Lambert Anderson.
My name is Linda Lambert, and I'm currently a full-time judge who presides in the Henrico County Juvenile and Domestic Relations District Court. Aside from being a judge, I'm also a 1988 graduate of Douglas Southall Freeman High School, and it is absolutely a distinct honor and privilege for me to be here today to provide the convocation speech for you, the class of 2021. I know this is not how all of you imagined experiencing your convocation for your senior year. 2020 has been a year like no other. It has been a year of many challenges, and I can only truly emphasize with all of the mixed emotions that you have been feeling up to this point, and that you will continue to feel as you navigate through the trials and tribulations of this pandemic. I know how you feel because I'm also the mother of a 2020 graduate of the very first COVID-19 class. My daughter, Logan Anderson, graduated from the Specialty Center at Glen Allen High School in June. As the vice president of her senior class and a varsity soccer player, she had very high expectations of living her best life during the course of her final year of high school. When school ended last March, she missed out on celebrating senior night of her last home game on the soccer field. She missed out on her senior prom. She missed out on standing on the stage at the Siegel Center, participating in graduation ceremonies as a senior class officer. But she was resilient, like all of you are as well. As a freshman at the University of Richmond, she's a member of the U of R women's soccer team, and I can truly say that she has established a path for herself in which she is striving to continue to live her best life at this next level. I hope that her perseverance, like many other members of her class, will inspire you all to do the same. Although 2020 has been a year of many challenges, you all have the ability to achieve your goals. As a high school student, I did not have the experience that you have had for the last few months, but I believe that in a way, this experience has helped you to become better learners and responsible young adults. You have been able to adapt rapidly to everyday challenges, which is key in our ever-changing world. while also looking out for the safety of those you love. As Freeman's class of 2021, you have already accomplished so much. Rather than dwelling on the drawbacks of this past year, focus on what's to come. Do not take the experience of virtual learning as an imposition. Remain engaged and active, as these skills will only support you in your future endeavors, whether that might be preparing for college, preparing for the workforce, or seeking a career in the armed forces. You all have the benefit of having extra time on your side right now. Use this time to try and master those concepts that have been challenges for you in the past. Contact your teachers and ask them questions. Read ahead so you can engage in class. Make use of this opportunity to expand your classroom knowledge. Trust me, you will achieve much more this way. I truly hope that you will take the advice with you as you embark on your senior year. You've come so far, so stay focused and cross that finish line. Many are viewing the 2020 pandemic as a barrier, but as a student, consider it as an opportunity to capitalize on your schoolwork and focus on achievement. You want to look back and feel proud of how you overcame the year of 2020. During this time, remember to be a support system for one another. Although you may not see each other on a daily basis, be sure to stay connected with your classmates. If you have friends who are struggling with this new learning system, extend a helping hand. Seeking help and helping others is key not only to achieving academic success, but it is also an important life lesson to achieving success in any endeavor that you may encounter in the future. Lastly, as you look to commence your final year, I want to encourage you to become endless pursuers of your dreams. Understand that you are important and your ideas are important. You can't let anyone take that away from you. Life comes with its challenges, and there's not one individual who will ever tell you that they had it easy becoming the person they were destined to be. You need to be hardworking, ambitious, and forthright to achieve your dreams. However, when you ask yourself, what is my passion? Or what is my mission in life? You may not have an answer, and that's okay. An essential tool that you all have at this stage in your lives is time. But ultimately, the decisions that you choose to make for your future are solely yours. As I conclude, I would like to say that it's been an honor to address you. As a former student of this school, I can attest to what a good education and leadership can bring to someone. My path to reach my life goals was not easy. There were many challenges and barriers that I had to personally face to achieve my success. But I did not allow perceived limitations to stop me, and neither will you. Don't be afraid to step out and pursue your passion in life. There is no such thing as failure. What some people perceive as failures, others may perceive as new opportunities to just take a different path or direction in life. Don't let this new normal that you're experiencing during your senior year discourage you. Be creative, stay focused, and work hard towards realizing your dreams. The best is yet to come. Have a fantastic senior year, and thank you again.
Judge Anderson, we would like to thank you for your words of inspiration and encouragement. Good morning, family, friends, guests, and the class of 2021. I'd like to reintroduce our next speaker. He was a familiar face in the halls for many years. Mr. Andrew May was our principal during our freshman year. He served as Freeman's principal for 3 years and previously as an assistant principal for 5 years. We are so glad to have him back home today. Please welcome Mr. Andrew May.
Class of 2021, congratulations on making it to your senior year. I wish you all a great, successful school year. I wish you the very best, and remember always that a life lived in service to others is a life lived with purpose. Congratulations, and the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Mr. May. We miss you, but you left us in great hands. You will always be a part of our Freeman family. Now I'd like to introduce another member of the Freeman family. Mrs. Marcy Shea is a wife, mom, Henrico educator, and Richmond native who believes that great education comes from great teachers. Mrs. Shea is a former physics teacher here at Freeman High School. Since stepping away from the full-time high school classroom to focus on raising her family, Mrs. Shea has remained connected to Henrico schools in numerous ways, including coaching new physics teachers, tutoring struggling high school students, serving on the PTA, and volunteering teaching STEM for elementary school students. Most notably, in 2018, Mrs. Shea was voted in as the Tuckahoe District Representative on the Henrico County School Board. She is passionate about supporting teachers, meeting all students where they are, and educating the whole child. Please welcome Mrs. Marcy Shea.
Hello, Freeman Senior Class of 2021. I bring you greetings from the Henrico County School Board. The next time I have the honor of addressing you as a group will be at your graduation in June. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves or fast forward too quickly. Before we look ahead, let's cast our gaze back over the last months on what we've learned that can be helpful as you begin such a momentous year. One thing we've learned is that we never really know what's coming next. And honestly, there are times when trying to predict what's coming is of limited value. The level and dimensions of uncertainty you've learned to deal with is hard to fathom, including a whole host of not knowings for this year, such as not knowing what the rest of the school year will look like, what part will be completed in the building or on the computer, not knowing how many waves of the virus there might be, not knowing the long-term impact the pandemic will have, not knowing your next steps after Freeman, enrolled, enlisted, or employed, and not even knowing what mascot you will cheer for when sports resume. Amidst all this unknown, however, you have been flexible and you have adapted. You jumped into virtual learning last spring and have found new ways to collaborate with friends. You've begun to discern what is essential and what is not. I urge you to carry that adaptability forth with you this year and beyond, along with these 3 things. Number 1, focus on the next step, not the next 10. This means start this year by engaging with your teachers, classmates, and schoolwork, and maybe even be bold enough to turn on your camera. Work on what's in front of you while making progress towards your goal. It's about the journey this year, and a major one lies ahead of you. Enjoy it. Number 2, recognize that we don't have to do things the way they've always been done. 2020 has highlighted systemic gaps in the status quo. We need to train ourselves to ask the harder why questions. We can't just accept things the way they are, and we can't just sit around being critical. As a society, we are in desperate need of active minds who are willing to challenge the status quo with real, actionable ideas, and who are willing to engage in respectful social dialogue about how to accomplish this change. The class of 2021 is primed for this level of engagement like none before. Number 3, think outside the academic box. Subject matters do not exist in silos. Science, economics, sociology, communication, and history are all interwoven. They rely on each other for meaningful solutions. Empathy and knowledge are more powerful together. I'd like to conclude by suggesting that, in my opinion, to solve the issues facing us, we don't need the same solutions. We don't need more, we need different. Frankly, we need you. We need your ability to synthesize your academic knowledge, to pick up new things along the way, and to empathize with your community as you craft new solutions. Many of the careers that the class of 2021 will have are jobs that don't yet exist. We need people who have learned to be adaptable and flexible and to apply what they know in new ways. Who does that sound like to you? I hope that the next time I get to address you will be in person, and that I will get to see the accomplishment and pride on your faces below your mortarboard and tassel. Whatever the journey from today to June looks like, as well as the path beyond, I know you will be leading the way.
Thank you, Mrs. Shea. Now, I'd like to introduce someone who's working hard to unite the class of 2021. She joined the Freeman family in 2015 as a World History II teacher. Although I never personally had her as my World History teacher, there wasn't a day where I didn't hear someone praise her teaching or her character. Please welcome our senior class administrator, Mrs. Beverley Steele.
DSF Class of 2021, you have made it to your senior year. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone. The last 12 years from kindergarten to 11th grade must have felt at times like a marathon, but now you're at the start of your senior year with the finish line within your reach. When you entered DSF 3 years ago, I imagine that you envisioned a very different start to your senior year, and yet, here we sit in the throes of a global pandemic, learning virtually, separated from friends, teachers, and the school community. Difficult times such as these can test your resolve and cause you to question everything that you believe and hold dear. The late Kobe Bryant said, "Everything negative, pressure, challenges is an opportunity to rise." I implore you to embrace the current challenge as an opportunity to reflect on the relationships and experiences that are important to you, the goals and aspirations that you hold for your future, and an opportunity to solidify the actions needed to ensure a successful end to your high school career. An opportunity to express your gratitude to those who have supported you along the way and to chart a course for the next stage of your journey. As you near the apex of your high school careers and begin pondering the next phase, I urge you to continue to work hard and remain committed to your goals. When you feel like you've given everything that you have to give a little bit more. Leave nothing to chance. Let your work ethic and commitment to excellence lead you to your destiny. I look forward to the next 8 months together in whatever capacity that fate allows. Whether virtually or in person, I urge you to embrace the time you have left as part of the Douglas Freeman family, and I look forward to greeting each and every one of you as you walk across the stage at the Siegel Center this June. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Steele, for your leadership and guidance during our time in these halls. At this time, the Freeman Festival Choir will sing our Freeman alma mater, found on the inside of your program.
Together now we stand to pledge our love with heart and hand to our beloved Douglas Freeman High. The simple truths we learn, like beacons bright through storms will burn, to lighten paths which fade through darkness lie. Though years slip by like days, and the present turns to past, the friendships made within these halls through coming years will last. Though soon true friends must part, fond memories stamped on every heart confirm our love for Douglas Freeman High.
On behalf of the class of 2021, I want to thank you for attending our convocation ceremony today. I also want to take a moment to thank Mr. Todd and the festival choir members, Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Good in school counseling for their organizational assistance, and Mrs. Steele, Ms. Cabell, and the other class officers for their efforts in planning this special occasion. Thank you for watching.